This is the Wiiviewer!
And the LilWiiviewer.
And the LittestWiiviewer.
And we're gonna review
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
For the Wii U/Switch.
But this is actually the Switch versions.
So we're reviewing this on the Switch version, but there really is no difference between that and the Wii U version other than load times, right?
I don't even think
Mild
there's
graphical changes.
So basically nothing.
No, there's nothing.
What was the last Zelda game you guys played?
Triforce Heroes.
I don't remember.
Minish Cap for me. Now we're gonna try and keep this one as spoiler free as possible, alright?
By the way, Ganon's the real villain.
No! See, I thought when it said Calamity Ganon, I thought they were just like twisting it to maybe it's Bowser. How awesome would that
Yes,
be?
he turned into a pig.
So what's the story about generally?
Doom is upon us.
Actually, Doom happened 100 years ago when the world ended.
But
Almost.
Doom is happening again.
This is all stuff you learned 2 hours in, so we're not really spoiling
It's
it.
more like Doom Take 3.
You wake up, you were told that it's 100 years later, and you've learned the ability to jump.
No, your special power is your amazing upper body strength.
The hero of upper body strength.
Well, I'm pretty sure that he was bitten by a radioactive spider, and he became Spider-Link.
I
If
mean-
he had started shooting webs out, I'd be like, this is the greatest game ever!
Man, if only he had a hook shot.
No, let's not go crazy.
Hookshot room.
DLC. I would pay for that DLC.
It's already easy to abuse the paraglider, and later on you get a power-up that makes it even easier to use the paraglider, which I'm not going to spoil, but let's just say it's there.
And again, it takes time to recharge.
Not a ton.
It's
Yes.
like 10 minutes.
So just like every other Zelda game out there, it starts off with a tutorial. Everybody says it doesn't, but it does, because it puts you on a little section, and you have to get the 4 powers in it, then you can leave. So that's technically tutorial town.
Yes, it's very much tutorial town.
It's just an open environment.
It's just that it's not a very linear tutorial.
No, it's like do whatever you want, just do it here.
It's the only real safe place on the map, and even then you can die very easily.
What did you like the most? I enjoyed climbing mountains.
I enjoyed wandering about for the next objective and procrastinating on going to the next dungeon.
I enjoy pretty much everything in this game.
This map is huge. It might be a little intimidating for new Zelda players, what you might think.
Yeah, it can be intimidating, although it does direct you to not go towards, like, it does tell you to avoid the castle like the Black Plague.
Until you get really well.
Yeah,
shot down.
so it does segment you
I
in
don't-
quotes, but you can go anywhere you want.
I don't mean to brag or anything, but I went to the castle before I even went to the second dungeon. Although this probably has something to do with the whole getting that certain infamous sword early on.
One of the major differences in this game is you don't get hearts easily. You have to cook things or grab fruit or fish or meat around you to regain hearts. What'd you think of that?
I didn't find it too worrisome. I find the system easier than most of the other Zelda games, because you would just stockpile on so much food that if you got hurt in battle, you'd just immediately be healed up again.
There's technically no recipes in the game. It's just put these foods together and then they calculate what kind of dish it makes and its effects separately.
You can climb on anything. And
Except in any type of dungeon in general.
Or direct ceilings. If the ceiling is just slightly slanted, you can climb on it. But if it's completely flat, you're screwed.
you can climb on it based on how much stamina you have.
And it costs more stamina the steeper the slope.
And you can also see the weird micro expressions in Link while he's climbing to see where he's struggling more, which was kind of nice. I liked how bombs were infinite. You just had to wait for them to recharge.
The runes were nice. They were pretty creative, although very strange for Zelda format. Getting all the quote-unquote dungeon items. They act like dungeon items, even though they really are just the main abilities. And they played with the physics a lot.
So the ruins are bomb.
Other bomb.
It's like suitcase bomb, which is terrible. Ice block. Stasis, which will freeze.
Freeze objects in time and preserve their momentum as they're hit.
Yeah, amiibo and camera.
And also magnets.
Magnesis.
Yes. So throughout the map, there are shrines, which are like mini dungeons, but they can also be used as fast travel points.
Which is very helpful, because this world is big.
There's a total of 120 shrines in the world.
The shrines were just like mini puzzles or combat.
Sometimes the challenge is not actually doing the shrines, but instead getting to the shrines.
Shrine quests. So that's what they're called.
Or you can find one of the 900 Koroki
Korok
things.
seeds.
Whatever, those things. They're basically little hidden objects you can find throughout the map.
That increase your inventory.
If you go into the shrines and get the thing at the end, if you get 4 of them, you get more stamina or a heart container.
Whatever of your choosing.
Or if you want to choose to change them up, you can too. If it ends up being the wrong choice, you can go back and fix it.
It costs money.
Everything costs money!
Welcome to the real world.
And money just isn't in the grass anymore. You're gonna have to sell fruit or mine for gold and ore and sell it.
Personally, never had money problems in this game.
Or
you
you
could
could
just
Okay, Scrooge McDuck!
Or you could just do what I do and just beat up Guardians and sell all of their parts.
You could just get a lot of ore in this game, and ore is basically just rupees.
Okay, braggers.
Like, there technically isn't rupees in the grass, but really, if they hide these ores in the grass, that's exactly what they're doing.
So there was a lot of side quests you could do too. I kind of like the one where you could just buy a house. I kind of wanted to buy a house and say, you know what, Zelda? I just want to relax in this house.
I think I'm done.
I want to be able to play Harvest Moon. I'm going to make some crops, grow some tomatoes. There's temperature gauges, so you're going to have to watch out where you are. So if you're going to a place that's too cold, you got to put on something that blocks the cold, or something that's too hot, you're going to need something that blocks the heat. There's weather effects like rain and snow. Rain makes it very hard to climb.
The whole point of the whole weather conditions is to corral you into doing your main goal and blocking you off from areas. It's a game design trick in open world games. They make you think it's open world, but then they block off this certain area or else you get set on fire.
You can also get around that fairly easily.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, is to corral you into doing what they want you to do.
Plus there are towers that you can go to that so you can see off in the distance to pick what direction you want to go into. And it also opens up the part of the map. It puts the map on your little Sheikah slate, the little gimmick you have for this game.
It's more like just a map. And a great camera.
And it knows exactly what's in your pockets. I just want to see Link carrying all these like radishes and ores in his pockets, and he's trying to sneak up on this goblin. I got 7 swords and 5 shields and 9 bows. How come I can't see this on Link?
Man, I wish I could hold that many swords and bows.
Oh, don't give Nintendo an idea. They'll probably do that in the next one. Like, oh, you don't like breakable objects? Well, you can only carry 2 at a time. What do you think of breakable weapons?
It was fine. They broke a little too much for me. I don't like half the weapons in the game, but that's more of just personal preference.
I got to a point where almost all my weapons were broken. I had a leaf left.
That happened to me. I had to rob some bokoblin.
I don't really mind the weapons breaking, except for the fact that discourages me from using all of the powerful weapons I've acquired from going to places early. Sneaking in places early, I should clarify.
So we played this on the Switch. It was kind of fun being able to just take it on the move. Why don't we just quickly talk about the Switch?
It's great.
Good.
It's a good system.
I did notice some of those frame rate issues, but it was so minor. I didn't even care that much.
There was a certain part of the game where the frame rate dipped quite frequently.
Did you prefer playing this on console or handheld mode?
I preferred playing on console just because it felt more natural to play it that way.
I prefer console just because the Pro Controller is so good.
I don't like those little tiny buttons on the Switch.
I like the Joy-Cons a lot. It's a pretty good controller.
So, LilWiiviewer, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Would you buy, rent, sale, or skip?
I would buy this game. What is that?
New idea was trying. Put the little thing on the bottom.
Ew.
Come on, I gotta put a little production. So, you want to say buy?
Yes, because it's a good game.
LilWiiviewer, would you buy, rent, sale, or skip?
I would say buy because, well, it's a very lengthy game that will keep your interest for quite a while.
And I agree with you. I think it's a buy for obvious reasons. I mean, the game is great. It put a lot of life back into Zelda, wouldn't you agree?
I'm more worried about what the sequel's gonna be. How do you follow this up?